Hey, Latchkey kids and driving mutants, it's TheLadyShasha. I'm back with the gang. Let me introduce everyone that is here. Let's start off with Master Chaos.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm excited to be back. This is the second half of season 3. Lady Shasha, you are a new member, and I'm so happy to be on your channel, kicking it off. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. I'm also joined by my killer podcast.
Hello. Hi, I made it. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. I'm also new to your channel.
Oh, thank you so much for coming through. Also joining us tonight is Professor Cinema.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Hey.
So glad to be here.
We are glad to have you. And Mr. Slipcover. Bull.
What's up?
Hey. What you drinking?
This is not your father's root beer.
Cool.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's like my 5th one, so it's good.
Nice.
Come on, these movies weren't that bad.
I watched the movies 3 days ago, so I've just been drinking just cause.
Okay. And rounding out our cast tonight, it's the king of wishful drinking. I almost started the song started playing in my head.
Well, it is. Hopefully you're not getting any feedback from me, because I do not think I'm like over 1,000 miles away from home and I don't have Bluetooth. So hopefully you can hear me and there's no echo.
No, it sounds pretty good.
Nice. Cool. Very good. I'm sitting in a car at a truck stop on the side of Interstate 40 in New Mexico. So happy to be here. Much happier than I was watching these movies, but I'm happy to be here with you all.
That's dedication.
Lock your doors if you're at a truck stop. I just saw a news story about the amount of active serial killers that we have in the U.S. that are truck drivers.
Wow.
That's also horrifying.
Yes, very horrifying. All right, see people in the room.
Yeah, I the best time to talk about werewolf movies is to pull over in a gas station and yell at your phone. So
I think most people look at me as the one they're worried about, and rather than the one that would be sit here doing the worrying. So
that's fair.
I assume the predator role.
Yikes.
Good, I think.
Watch out! I'm on my 5th white monster here with the 0 sugar, and so no jitters, but all the energy.
Oh wow!
Let's go!
All right,
Lord.
Oh,
here we go.
What happened?
Yikes.
Oh God, this is terrible.
Bitch.
No.
I spent all day.
I gotta explain the significance of that, because I told a story in the group chat about how Black Devil Doll from Hell was the first movie that made my parents check our VHS rentals. Because before then, they didn't really care what horror movies we watched, because vampires, werewolves, slashers, they didn't care. But my mother walked into the living room to me and my sister watching a doll call this woman bitch, and she said, "Turn that off right now." and from that day forward, she checked, before we checked out of the video store, let me see what you're renting.
Yeah, well, luckily she didn't walk in when the sucking her boob, because that would have been traumatizing for everybody.
Yes. And the funny thing is, we rented it because we had just recently seen Child's Play, so we figured, it's going to be like Child's Play. It's just a black Chucky doll, and no, it's a little bit more than that. I mean, Chucky talks his shit too. He called her. What did he call her? You
called her a bitch too.
Say? I mean, you effing slut! I'll teach you to fuck with me. It was close.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Let's see. Let's say what's up to the chat before we get started. TonyMan100's here. He says, "Yo, what's up? It's been a long time since we've had a live. Nice to see you back, Lady Shasha. Thank you." And Sydney Jenkins, 1973, is here. Says the greatest review show on YouTube is finally back. Hello, Voyagers in chat.
Sydney.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. The Jedi Lord, I never can say his name right. The Jedi Lordran Tyrando. It's like you mixed a Game of Thrones name with a Star Wars name. But he says, "Hello, everyone."
Hello.
Hey.
Wilkie's Movies and Music says, "Hey, all."
Hello.
Brian Trash says, "Howdy, y'all." Fat78 is here. He says, "Hey, guys. Happy you're all back."
Hey, Fat.
Brian Sanchez is also here. He says, "Hello, everybody from Albuquerque."
Well, hello.
Oh,
Holland.
shit, I just drove right by you, dude.
Holland Note says, "What's up?"
Holland.
Hey, you stole my thing. That was my thing with him.
Chris Sawtell.
Sorry.
Chris Sawtell says, "Hey, everybody. By the way, the Monster Man was so much fun. Bravo."
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
And then there is some chat amongst themselves in the chat, and we will. We have a request. TonyMan100 says we need Jose to remake Black Devil Doll.
You don't want me to remake Black Devil? No. Maybe next time.
Hey, Rogue.
And Rogue Witch is here. She says, "Yay, y'all back. Nice to see the girl power representing." Yes.
Heck yeah,
Before we get started, I wrote up a little something that I want to say to the viewers because I didn't want to mince words. Tonight's show features a couple of movies with juvenile humor, lowbrow stereotypes, implied dog death, and problematic language of the 80s. Please know that my channel welcomes everyone and we don't punch down. Tonight we will be discussing these films like some immature middle schoolers. I support the queer community, therefore nothing we say is meant to harm, belittle, or subjugate anyone. If you feel the subject matter in these particular movies might be triggering to you at this point in your life journey, go ahead and skip this video, no worries. Protect your peace. I have a playlist of queer horror that is not from the 80s that you might enjoy. Visit my community tab and it's right there. That said, if you are an elder millennial or Gen Xer like me, raised on Porky's movies, Richard Pryor, stand-up, and R-rated Trading Places era Eddie Murphy, this may be the live stream for you. Zoomers are welcome too, but no flinchers, please. Shout out to Cobra Kai. All right, so let's get started with. I guess we'll start with the Howling III, the Marsupials. Good to start with.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Let me play a trailer for everyone who hasn't seen it.
Dangerous. Exciting.
Make love to me again, Donnie.
Beautiful. Bizarre. It could be anything or anyone. The Howling, Part 3.
You realize what this means, Sharp? A new species of human. This is going to be the greatest scientific discovery of all time.
They are here. They are real. One man will learn to love them.
I thought you'd hate me when you found out what I was.
One will try to save them.
I wonder how many more of them there are out there.
But others will seek to destroy them.
We're here to protect ourselves. You've been killing us for thousands of years. What choice do we have?
Hey, Muna! Help me! Change me!
Are they freaks of nature or creatures from hell?
They should be wiped out completely.
Can you help us
Evolutionary freaks.
to get our freedom, please?
According should be dead.
Now, fear takes a brand new form. The Howling III.
There we go. I was just trying to work on that feedback. I think it's gone now. All right, so let's I guess we'll start in opposite order. Professor Cinema, would you like to start?
Okay. I feel I need to start off with this. I found the Howling movies as a kid, the same time I found Hellraiser and speaking of Australian movies, Crocodile Dundee 2, which there's a couple of actor carryovers from Crocodile Dundee to this movie. So I actually really love all of the Howling movies, and this was a fun throwback for me. I loved rewatching this one. I've actually got Howling 1, 2, and 3 in a Blu-ray trilogy box set, so this was fun to pull off the shelf for me. That being said, this is a very slow movie. It's almost an hour and 40 minutes, but it feels like 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Feels longer than that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But for the most part, I don't really have anything negative to say about this movie outside of the fact that it feels longer. The acting is sort of cheesy, but you sort of expect that with these type of movies. I really enjoyed the transformation effects. I loved all the little movie references that they threw in there. It's just sort of a geeky subgenre horror movie, and I was here for it.
Thank you. Oh, it dropped out. Oh, I think he might have been adjusting his microphone. Let's see. Mr. Slipcover, you want to continue?
Sure. This movie sucked ass. Holy shit. I did not like it at all. And you know what? As a kid, I remember watching it. And as a kid, it's way cooler back then. Like, just thinking the transformations and shit were cool. But damn, did they look like terrible, like some of the worst puppets I've ever seen. Just the extended faces on some of them. It just wasn't good. I didn't like it. I hated it. I want to revisit all the Howling movies now because I feel like I have I appreciate them more than they should be appreciated because I don't remember much about any of them, and I hated this fucking movie. It wasn't good. Those are my initial thoughts. I didn't like it. I couldn't stand it. I wanted it to be over 20 minutes into it. It wasn't good.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I thought I was gonna like it. I genuinely did. I thought it was gonna be like an easy watch. It wasn't. I hated it. Hated it.
Okay. King of Wishful Drinking. What do you think?
Crikey. It's my turn. Oh my God. What was with the wannabe kingpin in the hospital with the hospital gown out backwards so his little shrimp on the bobby could pop out or something? What the hell was going on with that? This was the jumpiest story I've ever seen in my life. We're with the president of the United States. We're with the Russian ballerina vampire, whatever the hell she was. And or I guess werewolf, right? And then we're in Australia, and then we're here, then we're there. I had no idea what the hell was going on. All I know was the effects were trash. I've never seen something so bad. I've never seen any of the Howling sequels. I've only seen the first one, and it is so disappointing that this pile of crap is associated with that movie. And I'm quite opposite of Bullet, where I don't want to see any of the other sequels now. Like, I kind of thought, at one point during my collecting that I would get all the Howling movies and watch them, but nope, no chance of that. I don't think I'll ever watch another one. But then, couple notes. What was with, they're laying in bed. We're having a sex scene with the girl with the, okay, she's a werewolf, but she's got the biggest bush of all time. It comes up to the bottom of her boobs. What was that all about? Did we need that? I don't know that we needed that. But then they were the sweatiest two individuals I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God, yes.
I don't know if they actually had sex or not, but what was with the sweat just pouring off of their faces? I mean,
was wondering that as well.
I've never done anything in my life where that much sweat has come off my face. So maybe they had a banging time. More power
You're
to
just
them.
not
But
doing it right, OGP.
yeah. And then I want to know, in the newspaper, it said something about a Kiwi blitzkrieg. What the hell is a Kiwi blitzkrieg? If when you see them reading a newspaper, it said something on there. And I'm just like, a Kiwi blitzkrieg? What the hell is that? I don't know. They didn't address it. It was just in the newspaper. That's where my mind goes. So it was kind of a random, weird little nugget there. But
I feel like it's throwing shade because it's an Australian film. And they always say never call an Aussie a Kiwi or a Kiwi an Aussie. I feel like they were throwing shade at New Zealand. I don't know the exact context, but that's what it feels like.
Okay. See, I never heard that. Yeah, but it is interesting fact. But then also, when they're transitioning into werewolves, this fucking crunching noise, I hate. There's nothing more than like bad low budget movies when something is transforming that goes. I'm just like, I wanted to punch my screen. I was so, what is this crap? Like, it's anyways, it was frustrating. And those noises were like just it was like I was getting angrier and angrier, and the movie was just taking forever and ever. It was so bad. When you picked, well, we got another one to talk about, but when you picked these movies, boy, did you know the assignment? Because God damn, I was angry when these were over. And that's all I got to say about that.
Okay. Jose, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry, guys. I had some technical issues. So I didn't hear Professor Cinema or Bullet Blake's takes. Real quick.
They loved
thumbs
it.
up, thumbs down. Professor Cinema, what do you think?
I like this movie, but I've got a very big nostalgia boner for it, I guess, because I saw it as a kid and I liked it a lot as a kid.
Same.
Okay.
No, it's
Mel,
fucking
did you go
ass
already?
trash garbage. It's fucking garbage. Garbage.
Agreed.
I hated it.
So Bullet liked it.
Okay, great. And I caught the end of OGP's Sweaty People review.
Yeah.
So I got that. I'm kind of with Professor Cinema because I remember watching this movie in a way. Hold on. Because I remember watching this as a kid and being like, oh, well, this is in my mind, it was an interesting movie. It's been a while since I've watched it. Upon this rewatch, it's pretty fucking bad. It is it is so bad. I mean, incomprehensibly bad. It starts off okay. I love the fact that it's in Australia. We're dealing with a new subset of werewolves, from the Tasmanian tigers. I love all that stuff. That's really interesting. And then the girl has a pouch. All right, not a deal breaker, but weird. We'll see what happens.
Super fucking weird.
I mean, hairy boobs. That's when I'm like, yeah, no, I'm out. But interesting stuff. And it was like, and then she becomes an actress, and there's the movie stuff. I go, okay, this is. I don't remember the movie stuff, but this is kind of interesting. And then it becomes, I honestly consider this a satire. I don't think this is a serious movie. I mean, I don't know how anybody could look at the effects and be like, oh yeah, we're making a great werewolf movie. They look like hairy fucking ducks. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking when they put that shit together. They had like these wide fucking mouths. Like what the fuck? Come on, man. Stop it. What are we doing? And then she gives birth to a baby like alien style. There's no way that they go, wow, yes. Well, hold on. Australian accent. Good day, mate. We're making the best werewolf movie ever made. Let's get some shrimps on the barbie. That's horrible, but I'm pretty sure how this movie happened. Look, effects aside, the acting is Australian, so it feels like an Australian movie. You know, like there's the big fucking bald guy. I don't know what his name was, but it was probably Donk or something like that. I don't know. That sounds like what he would be called. Yeah, that's like. Isn't there some movie that was like I've got a donk? What is that? That's I think that's
Crocodile Dundee
or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which the guy who played Donk is in this movie, but he's not the bald guy.
He's not that Donk. Okay, so Donk is an Australian thing. Good. I wasn't sure I was making that up. Look, it's a weird werewolf movie, and it doesn't follow the books. There's no continuity with the series itself. It's very much the Halloween 3 of the franchise, because it just goes so off the rails. I mean, it's not as good as Halloween 3, but I mean, that's because of time that has aged that movie well. But it's just weird. It's just it just continues to be a strange movie. Ballerina werewolf? What the fuck? Why do we need that? We don't need that. Where did she come from?
We just had a ballerina vampire, so I mean, this one did it first.
That's true. Yeah,
but ballerina vampire is legit. Ballerina vampire is legit. Werewolves?
Yeah.
She was also the most annoying thing on the planet. She was so fucking. What was the? Why did she keep doing it over and over again?
I had blocked that out of my mind till now.
I think she was trying to keep herself from transforming. I feel like she was trying to.
She failed. That's the face that Mel makes when she's watching these movies. Okay, so for my initial thoughts, it's a very strange movie. This movie's famous for the alien baby scene, the fucking goofy werewolf nuns. I mean, that's unforgettable. The giant werewolf head that attacks the guy at one point. What the fuck? And he had a bazooka? Where did he get this? And I would love this. I should love this. But there was so much that I didn't love, and it rubbed against it in the wrong way. Those are my opening thoughts for Howling 3. The Marsupials. Lady Shasha, go ahead.
I have so much. Actually, I was gonna have my killer podcast go next, and I was gonna go last.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. You guys
welcome.
pretty much said all of it, but I also thought it was kind of slow, so I was a little bored in the beginning. So I missed kind of like a good chunk of the beginning because I wasn't really paying attention. I appreciated some of the practical effects, but I didn't get the stomach flap. Like that was very confusing for me. The baby
it's a marsupial pouch.
Yes,
it's so stupid.
But it's because it's Australia and they have kangaroos.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I guess. Okay, fine. It was so stupid. The baby birthing scene was very awkward. I was very creeped out during that scene. Just like the whole scene was very awkward for me. It was very weird. The noses on the werewolves was also weird. I didn't like that. But it wasn't unwatchable. I was entertained for some of it. So I'm not going to say I completely hated it. But I didn't enjoy a lot of it either. So those are my opening thoughts.
So you guys have to know I love this movie. I was the perfect age when I saw it. I was entering middle school, and that's the type of humor. That's the level of humor this movie is on. I think it threw a lot of people for a loop because the original Howling is straight horror. There's no comedy to it. Well, except for the final scene where the lady looks more like a Pomeranian than an actual werewolf. But other than that, it's played, pretty straight. Part 2 is played pretty straight too. I like Your Sister's a Werewolf. I feel like with the Howling movies, they get progressively worse. So as much as people may not like 3, 4, 5, and 6 are so much worse. I enjoy 3 because of the comedy. I think the werewolves are meant to look bad, especially in the movie within a movie sequences where the werewolf kind of looks like they took 2 spatulas and glued some fake fur to them. I love that. I love the score of this movie. I love the whole marsupial thing because I just thought that was a cool twist to put on it, and them being in Australia. I like that the ending scene was like a callback to the original with, the main character being on television and starting a transformation. I don't know what to say. I mean, I know it's bad. I'm not saying it's a good movie. It's not a good movie. And there's some really bad acting in this. And the transformation scenes aren't great. But I love the ridiculousness of it. I like the ballerina werewolf, especially when she starts transforming mid-ballet. And she just starts spinning and transforming. And then she bites her dance partner as he leaps over to her. That's hilarious to me. I like that. I like the Aboriginal character that kept on screaming in people's faces for no freaking reason at all, other than it's funny. There's so much and the director, who it looks like they were trying to like mix Alfred Hitchcock with maybe oh god, I'm drawing a blank. The dude that directed The Shining.
Oh, Kubrick.
Yeah, it felt like they were trying to mix Kubrick and Hitchcock to create this fictional director character. But I like everything about this movie, and I also like Halloween 3. So there's that.
Fair enough.
Interesting.
Yes. I have very interesting movie taste, as you'll see.
Well, I think we all do. We all have those movies, and especially in this panel here, we've all got those movies that people look at us like, all right, okay, well, sure, whatever you say.
I think the movie that started me on this path was I think I saw Attack of the Killer Tomatoes on Elvira, and that's how I found out in elementary school what type of person I was going to be. It's like, yes, these movies are for me. I guess we'll go on to our scoring. What are we using to score this time?
Barrels.
Barrels.
One out of 5 barrels. And Tony Man in the chat. No, it is not as good as Blood Fart Lake.
Absolutely not. Nope. I'll watch
Blood Fart Lake is a masterpiece compared to this.
Wait, there's a sequel?
Lake was amazing.
Yeah, the sequel sucked though.
Yeah, Eric says there's a return to Blood Fart Lake. Wow.
It's awesome.
Do it.
Tony Man has been trying to get me to watch and review The Legend of Stank Mouth. I think it's called Fart something, The Legend of Stank Mouth, and I'm just like, I don't really. It's on Amazon Prime for free, and I'm just like, I'll get around to it. We did Buddy the Killer Thing earlier this year on the other show we had. We did Buddy the Killer Thing. We did that Guilty Pleasures. We did that with the Greasy Strangler. It was a double dick feature.
Double dick. It was indeed.
Nice.
Professor Cinema, how many barrels would you give the Howling 3, the Marsupials?
Well,
and your final
on a Voyage scale, because I've got such a fond nostalgia for this movie, I'm gonna have to give it 2.5 or 3 barrels, probably 2.5.
Oof.
That's your fondness.
Dagger to my heart.
That's my fondness. That's because there's still some things that I don't like the final 20 minutes of the movie where it goes through like 30 years of time progression. I felt that's unnecessary and I didn't like it. I always forget about that part, and when I get to it, no, I don't want to watch this anymore.
Yep.
Mr. Slipcover, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, I hated this fucking movie. Everything about it just bothers me the more I think about it, and I would like to say 0 barrels on account of the fact that like they lose like 30 pounds of water weight after doing it, and then he discovers the pouch on her stomach. He then looks at it like he acts like he didn't see it the whole time. They were like balls deep. I don't get it. I don't understand why that was the whole thing. And
hey, some guys aren't picky.
Yo, baby, what's this sound, baby?
No shit.
But if they were doing like a fucking like marathon fuckfest, like it looked like they were doing, it just seems like he would have not been so surprised that her fucking hairy tucked all the way up to her fucking sternum. I don't know, but the nun on the bus when they do the nun scene on the bus where they're like, "Are we gonna find that bitch?" That's worthy of a one barrel for me. So I'll give it 1.
Oh.
There you go.
Me.
All right, King
One
of Wishful
barrel.
Thinking.
Okay.
Final thoughts in your barrel rating.
So, this movie was very painful to get through, and kind of responding to your thoughts, like the idea that liking it because it's the funny, the humor element, and all that. I get that. I love a funny horror movie, but the problem I have with that with this movie is the original Howling not being a comedy. That would be like you take The Omen or the original Exorcist and make a sequel that's a comedy. It doesn't work for me. They should have called it something else. This movie 100,000,000% deserves a 0 barrels, but because some asshole was able to convince producers to call this Howling 3, I give them 1 for kudos for somehow convincing some buffoon to label this Howling 3. So 1.
All right. Master Chaos, what do you think?
Actually, I changed my name. It's Marsupial Chaos, just for this review.
oh, I didn't notice it. There you go.
And if anybody wants to see my pouch, send me an email, and it's available for viewing. Howling 3. Okay, 2 interesting things about the movie. First of all, it was directed by a guy named Felipe Mora. Maybe Felipe Mora. Anyway, Mr. Mora directed the scariest movie I've ever seen to date. It's a movie called Communion. It's about the true life story of Whitley Strieber, who was abducted by aliens, and Christopher Walken plays him. And Christopher Walken is Christopher Walken, but that movie freaked me out when I was a kid, and to this day, it still holds a power over me. It fucking terrifies me, and I hate aliens, and I'll punch them in the eyes if I saw them. But luckily, as far as I know, I haven't seen any. So already you got a really good director, somebody I respect. I like his work. He also did The Beast Within and a whole bunch of other movies. He's a good director. In a case of what could have been, Nicole Kidman was up for the part of Jerboa, so she would have been our pouch woman in some alternate reality.
That would have derailed her career big time,
right? And then I was thinking how funny it would be. Okay, spoilers. The end of the movie is a fucking mess. The last 15 minutes are just garbage. The whole movie is, there's no tension, there's no suspense. It's not scary at all. And the movie builds up to they're being hunted. They're being hunted. And so they just kind of go to a farm and hang out. That's the movie. What the fuck? What are they doing? We're just going to farm. We're just going to stay here and farm. What? That's not a movie. And then they get an email or whatever. This guy comes and goes, "Hey, everything's good. The government loves werewolves now. Awesome, bro." And then they fucking move to Los Angeles and she wins an Oscar. It is so weird. And it almost feels like I would have thought it has to be a dream sequence. This has to be somebody's having some kind of weird fucking nightmare dream sequence and it's going to end with a shocking twist, whatever. No, it really happens. And then they have a baby and the baby grows up. And I just felt like the ending was too goofy. And I know I tried to reference the first movie, but the whole last 15 minutes, nonsense. It's a waste. As a matter of fact, I think ruins the movie for them making that choice, which is unfortunate. I did like that this was a Romeo and Juliet kind of movie. It's very much a Return of the Living Dead 3 kind of film. But that disappears after a while. It's that, but then they get together and they're just kind of running away, and then it's sort of a fugitives movie that devolves into nothing. I think the script probably could have used a couple more rewrites, and a better makeup team, I think, would have helped the movie very much. Now, this is the kind of movie you watch drunk with friends at a Halloween party. Perfect movie. I disagree with Professor Cinema. I heard the beginning of his review. He was saying that it was a little slow. I don't think the movie's slow. I think the movie kind of constantly gives you stuff to absorb. And sometimes it's a little too much to absorb. You're like, what the fuck, go away, movie. But there's enough here that's memorable, and you can't say that about a lot of movies. Overall, though, this started out at a 4, I will say. And then it slowly started losing barrels quite quickly. namely because it felt very PG, and it's like there's no real gore, there's no nudity. I mean, there's sex scenes all over the place. There's
gore. There was nudity. It's just that the titties were hairy, but there was still titties.
That doesn't count.
At some points, the characters had 6 titties, so they were there.
Yay!
You know what? I did see that, but those don't count.
No kidding.
Those do not count.
Hashtag hairy areola.
I want the real fucking deal, and the movie didn't give it to me. So anyway, I started to lose barrels, and I've decided on 2 barrels. I think 2 is a safe one for this.
Ooh.
I will say, I would watch this again if they're playing it here in theaters in LA. They do a lot of revival screenings. If they were doing like a Halloween screening with like a whole bunch of people, I might go see it with an audience because it would be a fucking blast with an audience. Sitting at home, in your underwear, which is I'm sure how we all watch movies, it's not as fun as I had wanted it to be. So 2 barrels for me for Howling 3 Marsupial Adventures, whatever the hell it's called.
I'm surprised you went all the way with a 2. Man,
I almost went high on this, and then it's just like there was too much against it. Too much against it for me.
You know what? I thought she was going to win this season based on these movies. And between you and Professor, man, she has a legitimate shot at losing. Sorry.
Losing.
Okay. My Killer Podcast. What are your final thoughts and barrel rating?
Well, I kind of agree with MC in the way that this could have been like a really good cheesy B horror movie. Like with the practical effects, it could have been like a Ghoulies style. I did really like them. Like they were bad, but they were bad in kind of a good way. So I'm gonna give it a 1 for that. But everything else was not great. So I'm gonna give it a 1.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I enjoy the soggy white puppets, especially the multiple versions of the baby werewolf that they had. They had like 3 or 4 different rubber puppet versions of the baby werewolf that I really enjoyed. I don't know why the werewolves only transformed from the waist up. I didn't notice that as a kid, but I notice it now. Like the legs are completely human, the feet, everything. It's just from the waist up they become werewolves. But I love this movie so much. I can't defend loving it. I just do.
You're gonna make yourself lose.
And the thing is, I like how it just jumps into it. Like right away, Jaboa leaves her town because her stepfather tries to SA her, and she jumps on a bus and goes to Sydney. And in the same day, dude just drives by in his convertible, sees her on a park bench, and casts her in a movie as a starring actress. And she's never seen a movie before. Meanwhile, she's being pursued by 3 werewolf nuns. That's how the movie hooked me. I was like, this is amazing. But I still, again, nostalgia goggles. I really enjoy this type of film, so I'm gonna give it 4 barrels.
Yeah, you just sank your own boat right there.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, I had a feeling.
You know, I kind of thought of an idea for another season. If we all picked movies that we love, but we feel like everybody else is gonna hate, Lady Shasha, this would have been your movie right there.
Oh, I can go way more B movie than this. Like,
okay. Well,
these aren't even shot on VHS.
Oh man, shot on VHS.
My barometer for bad movies goes really, really low.
Oh man.
That's why she's perfect for this.
Before we get into our next feature film, I'm going to take a little break to play a little ad for Cabin in the Woods Film Festival, which I've been working on with award-winning horror author Crystal Connor, and also Jose is going to be there, but we're going to tell you more about that in a second.
Ooh.
The only upscale, all-inclusive, multi-tiered horror film festival in Seattle. The 2-day film festival takes place in the shadow of the Space Needle, the weekend of August 23rd and 24th. Theater guests at the elevated black tier will experience the festival along with the VIP cabin guests and enjoy early entry, brunch, gala dinners, luxury swag bags, gourmet concessions, and access to all film screenings. Platinum tiered guests will enjoy gala dinners, high-end swag bags, curated concessions, and access to all film screenings. The perks of the Gold Plus guests are swag bags, premium grab-and-go meals, 2 concession checks, and access to all film screenings. Tickets go on sale in May until they sell out or the 6-week booking window closes. Plan ahead and be prepared. And just like last year, they're expected to sell out.
There we go. Before I get into our next film, for anybody joining late, I did do a very extensive trigger warning. I'm just going to repeat it right now. This is an 80s movie. It's a product of its time. Some of the language is problematic, so I'm letting you know that off the bat right now. If you feel like that's going to trigger you, that's fine. You can go to one of my other playlists to watch queer horror, because tonight we're gonna goof on this movie pretty hard. So I'm just letting y'all know that. All right, the next movie that we are going to be talking about is Curse the Queerwolf, and I'm going to play the trailer again. 1980s, product of its time.
Ow! You bit me!
Even a wrist that is strong and firm, and holds up straight by day, may become limp when the moon is full and the Queerwolf comes your way.
Holy Jesus Christ! Get your ass out there!
Larry, this is not the time to get social.
Social? He bit me on the ass!
Check out back.
I'll check the other room.
You certainly didn't touch you.
We can hear
You
each
didn't
other.
touch
That's
me.
weird.
In your hand, it is the pansygram. The 5-pointed flower is the sign of the Queerwolf.
Now, who told you to say that?
You were bitten by him, eh? Huh?
No!
Now you will change upon the next full moon.
Someone's out to drive me crazy.
You changed last night, huh?
I think I did.
You think you did, huh? Where were you all night?
You tell me and we both know. You would not believe what I woke up to this morning.
If you were some screaming fruit, don't you think your best buddy would know about it?
Who is this?
Well, your best buddy doesn't know about
Oh,
it.
that's
So
a
you
long
ain't.
ass trailer.
This is happening.
Yeah,
It's pretty long.
Tonight the room will be full again. I have to be sure.
Give me the weapon. He's a queerwolf.
They're queer.
Unread Brooks, baby. Gay.
I got fucking PTSD from watching that fucking trailer again.
Oh my god.
God damn.
I love this movie so much. I own it. Well, I bought it before.
Nice.
Before it
When
was
did you
available.
buy that?
Probably around 2012. I got it from eBay. It was like the only place that someone had it was on eBay. And
No shit.
now it's available on Tubi, so lots of kids will be able to see this movie.
They've got the behind the scenes making of it too.
Yes, I wanted to watch that. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I did see there is a featurette on the DVD that I watched like 12 years ago, and there's a director's commentary on this too. But
Wait, Tubi has the behind the scenes?
yeah, Tubi has the
No
it's called The
shit.
Making of Curse of the Queerwolf. So I'll probably watch that tonight.
Oh my
I'm gonna get started because I have so many notes on this. One of the things I noticed was while this movie does have a lot of gay stereotypes in it, a lot of the humor is actually aimed at homophobia. I think that the whole movie is an allegory for homophobia and the fear that interacting with queer people will turn you gay. So I kind of feel like, okay, you could really see this as like a Jordan Peele type thing. The main characters' names are Larry Smallbutt and his bestie Richard Cheese. And if you know what the nickname for Richard is, I saw this movie when
I didn't catch that.
It's Dick.
I should mention that this is another one of those rentals that I got from. I'm from a small town in Connecticut. We had nothing else to do there but rent movies. We had 6 video stores, and a couple were mom and pops. And I rented this when I was 12 years old, and I thought it was hilarious then. I think it's hilarious now. Where did I leave off? Oh yeah, the Dick Cheese. That alone tells you that alone tells you not to take anything in this movie seriously. It really it's super offensive, but I feel like they meant it to be offensive. I don't think it's not meant to be offensive, and I think it's meant to be offensive. And not just the queer community. When Dick Cheese had the black date and he asked her if she wanted to see his Jamaican Afro comb collection. I said, what the fuck? That was hilarious to me. There's a lot of horror movie references in this, like the OG werewolf references, like the pansygram. People, if you haven't seen the first is it Lon Chaney or Lon Chaney Jr. in the Wolfman?
Junior.
If you haven't seen that movie, you won't get some of the references, but that's okay because there's plenty of other references to get. You saw in the trailer the poltergeist reference. They reimagined the theme from The Omen. So when instead of singing about demons, they're singing about something else. And there's also during the transformation scene, there's a music drop from American Werewolf in London. I don't know how they were able to do that without getting sued, but it sounds like the same score. And one of my favorite parts of this movie is the Deliverance dream sequence. It's so out of place. It actually does make sense when you think about what happens in the movie Deliverance, but it's still a little bit out of place in a werewolf themed movie. It's culminating with, I'll save that for my final thoughts. I'll leave it there and I'll come back to this with some of my final thoughts. I just really enjoy this movie. I think that it's a product of its time. It's highly offensive, but it's still hilarious. And I don't know if I'm problematic for saying that, but I guess I am. I guess I'll go. I guess which way do you want to go? Who's ready? Jose, you sound like you're ready.
I'm ready. All right. I don't know if I'm gonna be problematic for saying this, but I didn't think it was that bad. Like in terms of it being like offensive, I'm like, oh no, I know exactly what this movie's doing. With a title like this, you don't know what you're gonna get. You think you're gonna get something really, like it's gonna be really hateful, or is it gonna be something that's sort of like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We're all cool. And it. I mean, I think it is. I think the movie is absolutely hilarious. And it's not what you think. I mean, you see that post art, especially the one on Tubi, which is like ridiculous. And you think you're gonna get this really, bizarre, over the top movie, and it really isn't. I mean, it really is American Werewolf in London, but it's West Hollywood or whatever. And I kind of loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really enjoyable. The director of this went on to do Death Row Game Show, which is one of the best releases from Vinegar Syndrome. I even like the look of the movie. I'm guessing it was 16 millimeter. I'm not sure, but it just had this like kind of rough. It's from the 80s, but it felt like a 60s, 70s kind of grindhouse movie. I love the look of it. I mean, I'm guessing budget wise, that's all they could afford, that kind of film. But I think it worked. There's so many layers to this that are really interesting. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's for werewolves and blazing saddles did for westerns. That's not bad. There's so many layers to the movie. I mean, I think it is your typical 80s, man turns into a dog movie. Beyond the fact that he turns into, essentially, and correct me if I'm wrong, but would you call him a drag queen or a transvestite? Because he doesn't become a woman, so I'm not sure what that is.
In the movie, they call him a transvestite. They don't call him a transsexual. They call him a transvestite. So
transvestite. Okay. Beyond that, I mean, he shouldn't be. There's no wolf in it. There's no werewolf anything in it. So it should have been like werequeer or something like that. But
he's a dickenthrope.
Yes, it's a dickenthrope. Yes.
Well, he grows a tail, doesn't he? That was a tail, wasn't it?
No, that was a back dick.
What was a back dick?
It was a back dick.
The handkerchief that came out of his pocket.
Was it a handkerchief? What the hell was it? Was it a tail, a handkerchief, or a dick? What was it?
There was a red handkerchief in.
No, I thought it was a tail. I was like,
for context, I found out about. Yeah, I was about to say I found out about the handkerchief from the movie Cruising. We have a similar thing here in Florida in the villages, where the boomers they have like the bath what do you call it? The loofah sponges. They tie them to their car antenna to let each other know what type of swinging stuff they're into. It's a place called the Villages in Florida. It's a whole retirement community.
I was going to say that sounds like a Florida thing.
Yeah, they had outbreaks of STDs because clearly no one there uses birth control because they're at the age where they're not worried about that, but they're real freaky deaky. And the bath puffs represent, like, the color of the bath puff represents what you're into. Like, I don't know what the color grading is. Maybe blue is whips and chains, and like pink is I don't yeah, they're like kink stuff. And it's the same thing with the bandanas. The bandanas represent different kinks that people have or what they're into.
Yep. So I wonder what Rambo's into since he wears the bandana. And we'll have that. He's probably into anal. But anyway,
oh my God.
This movie was a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed it. It was a good discovery, and I gotta say, Lady Shasha has a really good taste in picking bizarre movies because she turned me on to Greasy Strangler, and I love the shit out of that. So I would put this right up there with Greasy Strangler as a classic, just an unsung classic.
Wow.
And did anybody else, the Dick Cheese, whatever, his friend, Did anybody else think that he looked like Toby Hooper? He totally gave off Toby Hooper vibes. Go look up a Toby Hooper picture. 100%, the guy looked like Toby Hooper. I'm not sure if it was on purpose, but 100% Toby Hooper for me. Anyway, opening thoughts, loved it. I thought it was really great, and I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody else, but I don't think if you're sensitive to this stuff, that you'll be offended. I honestly don't. I think it's all in good fun. I don't think it's mean spirited at all, in my opinion.
Exactly, and also a lot of the jokes were aimed towards homophobics more so than actual gay community. I just put a disclaimer because with Gen Z, it's very difficult to tell, because I listened to a podcast not too long ago where the Gen X and the Gen Z both talking about Creep Show, and the Gen Z individual said that the lonesome life of Jordy Verrill was disrespectful to people with special needs, and his father was like, he's not special needs. He's just a country yokel. So since I heard that, I'm like, geez, I better explain this to them because they might not understand.
That's probably why we don't have a big audience from Gen Z.
That's why nobody watches Voyage. We are misunderstood.
We are.
King of Wishful Drinking. What's your thoughts?
This was the hardest movie for me to get through in the history of the Voyage.
Really?
I don't.
Wow.
I'm just gonna say, just very briefly. Yeah, no, it triggered me. This movie triggered me. I was a few minutes in when we had the situation on the couch with the guy, and he finds out he's with another guy. I was triggered, and after that, I was like, "This is." I don't view it as a movie. I view it as something else, and I'm not going to get into it because we're all about having fun and everything. I respect that anybody else enjoys it. I love everybody. I love everybody want to live the lifestyles they live. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. God damn, this was hard for me to get through.
Okay.
All right. Bullet, what do you think?
Okay. I actually loved it. So, to be honest, I watched both these movies with my old lady, and neither of us could stand the Howling 3. Both of us were like, we'll put this on, we'll probably fall asleep to it, and then finish it later tomorrow or something. No, we fucking stayed up late and watched the whole thing. I enjoyed the shit out of it, actually. I think it was one of the easiest films to watch that we've watched at least this season. I thought, I mean, it was hysterical. There was some parts that had me like laughing out loud, like dead ass serious. I was cracking the fuck up. I thought it was, I thought the dog shit, like they had a dog. Oh nope, now he doesn't. Now he needs a new one, and then oh nope, he needs a new one. Oh nope, he needs a new one. I thought that was fucking clever. Like, I mean, and normally animal deaths piss me off and stuff in movies, but this one it was told in such a like haha like joking way that it just didn't seem to like make me mad like every other animal death in the history of cinema.
It was cartoonish. It was like a live action cartoon.
Yeah, it was like watching Looney Tunes. And then you got like his buddy who keeps killing all of his patients at the fucking therapist office. That was fucking funny every time. I thoroughly enjoyed the shit out of this movie, honestly, straight up.
You are definitely losing this contest. You understand that, right?
All right. Dice says, I was surprised that during my first watch of the film, I did laugh somewhat frequently, just ridiculous sense of humor. By the way, Dice has a review of Curse the Queerwolf up on their channel, so definitely check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Nice. Professor Cinema, what do you think?
So there was a couple things about this movie that I wished would have been continued that started at the beginning, but they just dropped it for some reason. There were several moments where the primary actor, the main character, purposely looked into the camera as if he was sharing a joke. And he does it like 2 or 3 times in the beginning and then never does it again. And that just I thought if he would have continued that, it would have made certain aspects of the film much more funny. as in like just laughing with the audience, making sure the audience knew that, you know, this is all in good fun. Outside of that, there's some ridiculous things. The dog is ridiculous. I love how his friend kept killing his patients. The part I laughed hardest at, though, and I think while parts of the movie were really hard to watch, if you stayed and listened through the credits, and the primary actor goes to prison, and it's all about the court case, I laughed my ass off that entire time. It was so funny. I loved that part so well. And while there were parts of the movie that was hard to watch, that left sort of an all right flavor for the movie, I guess, for me.
And my killer podcast. What do you think?
So I was a little worried going into this one. I was like, we were talking in the chat and we were like, we're going to get canceled. And I was like, oh shit, we are. So when I started watching this one, I was just waiting, and everything I was watching, I was like, oh, yep, this is going to be the moment. This is going to be the moment. Someone's going to say something about this. Then the sauna scene happened, and I was like, oh no, this movie's serious. But like, it started to be funny. Like, I started to see like the humor in it, and I was like, this movie's actually kind of funny. And then like the dialogue was funny. And then when we got to the actual transformation scene where he didn't really turn into a werewolf, he like grew the fingernails, and then like he got makeup, and then like the earrings appeared. Because I like didn't know what happened. Like he started going like this, and like nothing happened, and I was like, what's going on? I was like, could they not afford special effects here? What's happening?
Oh, I should mention this movie had a budget of $10,000.
Yeah. I was like, I don't get it. And then he
I'm
goes
not
like,
sure what they did with the other 5,000, but
and then like I was like, this is fantastic. And then he turned into the Queerwolf, and then he like ran around and was like doing his thing, and then he ended up in the sauna, and then after that it was like kind of balls to the walls with the hilarity, and I was like, this is amazing. And then
wow. She's never said that about any movie on the show so far.
Never once. Yeah, no shit.
So then after that, like I started really loving the movie, because then like that's when we get like the big Easter eggs. Because like I said in the beginning, I was worried about this movie, so I was kind of like watching it like this, like, oh shit, like, oh no. But then after that, I was like watching it, and we get like The Exorcist, and we get like all of these like Easter eggs of other horror movies, and it was just like super fun to watch. I liked it so much. I was like, I'm going to buy a physical copy of this. So then I'm like researching online. So it's only out on like VHS and DVD. That DVD that you have is worth $45. Okay.
Oh, cool.
And the VHS is $95. So Mel's not getting a physical copy of this movie. Just FYI, so to be it is. But I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was hella fun. It's hilarious, and MC's right. It's hilarious in like a very self-aware manner. LadyShasha's right. Like it's doing it on purpose. There's a reason. It's backing itself. And I loved it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. The dream sequence was kind of hilarious, and you see that in the end sequence, like Professor was saying. It's very comical.
And I love how Tubi had the nerve to put the little thing at the beginning saying this has been digitally remastered to 4:3 ratio. Then it starts, and it's like, what remastering was done here? Is the remastering in the room with us? If you get ripped from a VHS and you call that remastering, okay. But I think that's what made it even more fun to watch. It was very nostalgic to see it that way. I really love the culmination of the movie turning into an exorcism film, as if you can exorcise a werewolf like it's a demon.
So funny. Funny.
And the word that they're saying, I had to laugh at it. and hopefully I won't get in trouble for saying it, but they called it a fagsorcism. And as old as I am, I couldn't laugh at that. It was like the first time I heard Dave Chappelle say "never in the history of niggerdom," and I was just like, "It's problematic, but it's still funny." But yeah, it's just one of those movies that I feel like it's already started. I read a couple articles from one was written by a trans person, another one was written by another member of the queer community, and they were both talking about the different subversiveness in the movie and how the comedy actually is lampooning homophobia. So I think it is going to be one of those things that if it's not a cult classic already, it's going to become a cult classic soon enough. 5 barrels.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't think we've had a 5-barrel rating since
Never.
Well,
have we
Convent?
Never?
Convent.
Convent.
Was it Convent? I think I gave Incredible Bulk 5, but then I took it back. I think it was. I forget what it was, but there you go, 5. That might be a first ever Voyage history.
I'm looking because I don't think we have ever had a 5. Oh wait.
If anybody gave a 5, it was probably me for something.
It was you turd. Love on a Leash.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
Oh God.
Why does that sound like a subtitle for an episode of HBO's Real Sex?
It's one of the best love stories ever made, Lady I mean, if you love love, I don't know, these guys are all bitter, cynical bastards.
I'm gonna write that down. Love on a Leash.
It'll change your life. Love sure is rough. Fucking love that movie.
It's not bestiality, right?
No,
sure
is. Or is it?
No,
it's
wait, bestiality.
Is it furry? Because furries is different.
No, they're real animals.
Oh,
animal fornication.
No, it's not.
Wow.
It's about a young lady. It's a young lady who adopts a homeless dog that magically turns into a human, and she fucks with him. It is a love story for the ages. All right, it makes perfect sense, and it made me happy. End of story.
Wow.
God.
Well, we've had several seasons of, well, not several, like a decade of Family Guy with Brian dating human women. It's like, why? Why are these women going out with a dog? It's weird.
Well, there you go. See, it's more accepted now.
About the
That's
other
a cool
one.
thing.
It's more accepted. He's sophisticated.
Oh man.
Wait, Mel, what was the other one that got 5?
No, I just meant the other one that you made us watch along with Love on a Leash.
No, that wasn't me, by the way. That was
Those were Tony's picks.
Those were Tony's picks?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense now.
That was not me. Anywho, I guess we're going back around. So my turn.
Sure.
Okie dokie. There's a lot to love in this movie. I love the fact that a queer wolf can only be killed by a silver dildo.
Fuck the ass.
And the ass.
I mean, you knew that was gonna be the thing. I love the macho exorcism with like the power of Duke compels you, the power of Clark Gable compels you, all that stuff. I love that.
Sean Connery.
Really yeah,
the power of I pity the fool that compels you.
It's clever, and I feel like they really tried to do something unique. And I mean, I had not heard about it until you mentioned it, so it's not a movie that's remembered, sadly. But I think maybe because it sounds like it could be problematic, but I think it's a very funny movie, and I think I personally don't think it's going out of its way to do one thing or another. I think it's just trying to be a goofy movie and kind of have fun with the werewolf concept. I enjoyed it a lot more, and I think I'm rating it quite high because of the fact that I didn't think I would like it at all. And this is my favorite kind of movie to find on Voyage. It's the pleasant surprise. 4 Barrels for Curse of the Queerwolf.
She lost.
Yeah. Look, Rogue Witch enjoys it. There you go. And she's in the queer community, so there you go. I'm glad to hear that because you never know what people find offensive, and there you go. If you haven't, I would say go watch it, give it 10 minutes, and if you feel weirded out by it, don't finish it. But it's a good movie. That's it for me.
Yeah, I didn't suggest the movie until after I'd seen a couple of people in the queer community review it themselves, including Dice, and then kind of felt out how the community consensus was and made sure that I wasn't in a blind spot. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's good.
I lost my train of thought. Who was next?
OGP.
Okay.
So here's the only thing I want to say is with this. Anybody who enjoys it, that's wonderful. I didn't. It upset me for certain reasons or whatever. But a lot of times we worry as a society about the LGBT community. We worry about minorities. We don't worry about everyone. And I'm not suggesting you all at all. You enjoy the movie, that's wonderful. But I think as a society, we don't take into consideration the flip side of the coin sometimes. And that flip side of the coin got me this time. So, and you will, if anybody watches it, and more power to you. If you do, enjoy it, please enjoy it. But if you watch it, you will know within 10 minutes if it's for you or not. And then you can make that decision. But for me, it was not for me. 0 barrels.
Okay.
Just for context, historically in this country, everyone is not worried about minorities or queer people. So that's kind of a recent thing. Oh, we lost him. Hopefully it was just a mechanical error, but yeah.
He got killed in a gas station. I think that's what happened.
Serial killer.
But like I was saying,
found him.
it's a recent development that people have started to care about women, about minorities, and about the queer community. So caring about one group of people doesn't suddenly mean that we no longer care about other groups of people. It's just highlighting that a formerly ignored group of people are now being recognized. So, okay. Bullet, you want to go next?
Yeah. Like I said, I really like this movie. I honestly, if they release it with a nice little flashy little slipcover, I'll buy the fuck out of this movie. So,
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, for real though, like I'll watch it again, no problem.
They should actually do a holographic cover so that it changes.
Yeah. Someone get on that. Whoever, someone. But so yeah, 4 barrels for me. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, Phils.
All right, Professor Cinema.
So there were parts of this movie that were hard for me to watch because it just, like I said, I really wish that they would have had the main character continue to look in the camera for certain jokes. Because I really feel like that was like a signal that's like, okay, this is one of those times where it is okay to, join in on the joke and have a chuckle. Now, when I described this movie after I watched it to my brother, who's my roommate, we had a solid half hour to 45 minutes of laughing as I described this movie to him. and talking about the movie here with you guys, it's been a lot of fun, and I it's changed my viewpoint on the movie. When I watched it, I really wasn't into it, but talking about it and how much fun I've had talking about it, and then how much fun I've had describing certain aspects of it, I'm gonna have to change my initial score. I was gonna give it a 2, but I think it's actually at a 3 because I would watch it again if I had people who have never watched it before and I was introducing them to it, and I think it would be a lot of fun to watch with other people.
Agreed.
I agree. All right, Killer Podcast.
So, I am also going to give it a 3. because I found it to be incredibly hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sorry to take up your time.
Well, I
don't go into any details or anything.
She
I
just
just heard so much about it.
She just Corbin Dallas does.
Yeah. I said so much about it the first time around that.
Are you snacking right now? What are you eating?
Yeah, I'm eating peanuts. I'm sorry.
You're eating what?
Eating peanuts.
I'm not going to make the 7th grade joke that popped into my head. I'm going to leave it alone. But there is an order of business that I jumped past and completely forgot. When I did the ad break for Cabin in the Woods Film Festival, I meant to do a segue into Cabin on the Web Film Festival, which Jose will be hosting a very special event. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. I unfortunately I don't have the date on me. I'm terrible.
August 23rd and 24th is Cabin on the Web. So
yes, on the 24th of August, I already have a placeholder on my channel. We're gonna be hosting best movie kill scene, and I have a panel of 7 guests that will be joining me, and we'll sort of be discussing our favorite deaths, not necessarily connected to the films in the film festival, just horror in general. And that'll be here free on YouTube, so you can check that out. You don't necessarily have to be a part of the festival itself to watch it, but you can link through us to the festival if you want to continue watching all the other fun content happening. So yeah, that'll be a good time.
Definitely. Okay. We actually got through this really fast. I didn't expect the show to go this fast. I'm gonna play the outro. You guys hang out for just a moment.
Hold on. Before we do that, we have to we have to discuss the next episode.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
According to my calculations here, oh, looks like I'm next. Oh wow. Okay, great. This is based off of the order that we started at the top of season 3. This would have been Tony's show, but it's now Lady Shasha's episode. So I followed Tony, which means I follow her, which means you're following me to hell.
Wow.
I have been waiting, like drooling. I can't wait to use these movies. I can't wait to use these movies. And now I get my chance. The reason I hadn't unleashed them before is because I needed a theme. And now I have a theme, and it's so beautiful that you guys will start crying from how beautiful it is. Are you ready for this?
Is this torturing anyone else listening to him going?
No, it's fantastic. You know, I'm known as the golden throat of YouTube.
Oh wow! Wow, that can mean multiple things.
You know what that means, right? I have a beautiful voice. Oh, shut up and listen. So anyway, our theme is existential dread.
Wow. Okay.
So here's what we're gonna do.
Don't say begotten. Don't say begotten.
No,
we already watched that one.
Okay, good. Good.
Lady Shasha, do me a favor. I have a tab at the bottom that where our pictures are. It is it's a link to IMDb. If you click on it, you can I'm sharing my screen with you. And let's talk after last season. This is a movie that is so impossible to find. It's technically not on YouTube, but I found a link of an unlisted version of this movie. This is considered worse than The Room. This is considered worse than Birdemic. And this is a movie you will watch.
Is it by Neil Breen? Is it by Neil Breen?
It's not Neil Breen. It's a guy named Mark Regan. Mark Regan, I think he only made this one movie. And it is fucking painful. Fucking painful, and I can't wait to share it with you. But we're not done. Existential dread. It all connects, and you'll see why. Let me introduce you to your second film. No
shark.
No shark.
What the
This is
hell?
a movie about a man. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a lady. It's directed by a man. It's about a lady who who is looking, who wants to commit suicide by being killed by a shark. So she goes to beaches looking for a shark, but she can find no shark. This is gonna be pretty fun though.
Jesus.
Oh,
This is gonna be hard.
So
wow.
I'll tell you what. It's 2 hours long.
What?
And
how long is the other one?
Okay, so the other one's like it's less. It's like 90 minutes or less. So, do you guys remember old Voyagers will remember a movie called The Korean from Seoul? I think No Shark will fucking beat that. I'm so excited. I've never been this more. The most excited is like when I get a bag of chips and there's extra chips in it. And that's how excited I am. I can't wait to watch these films and picture you guys suffering through them with me. Oh, what a joy. My life is full of joy. This is literally the culmination. After this, I quit. I don't need this is what I want to bring to the world. No Shark and After Last Season. And here's the good news. Both movies are on YouTube and you can do speed control. I will allow it for these movies.
That's how I got through. What was it? Amityville in space. I think I changed on that one.
So there you go. Next episode, Existential Dread, over on my channel. And it's gonna hurt. I can't wait. Who else can't wait? Raise your hands. Blake? Okay, Blake raised both hands. Wow. Okay. It's gonna be good.
Nobody likes.
I've heard that about New
MCU
Smyrna.
He's like this.
Yeah, I used to boogie board there because I didn't used to have good sense, but it was a lot of fun. With that, thank you all for coming through. I had a good time tonight. I was a little nervous. I didn't know how people were going to take everything, but I think everything went pretty well. And with that, I will say good night.
Good night. Love you guys.
Good night.
Turn it down right